Hey guys, it's Jeremy once again. We're doing another little bit of a shop update and everything. We're getting cars ready for the OCC car show tomorrow. It's a car show that we're helped throwing and everything, and it shuts down all of Colorado out in Old Colorado City, and we bring out all the cars and have them all on the streets. So that should be a really cool show, and we get to display all of our projects and everything. Also, a couple little bit of updates around the shop. We'll check out some stuff that's gotten some really good progress to it. So let's go check it out. So first up, we have this Triumph. We're gonna get it cleaned up and everything for this weekend's car show. It's a little dusty from being in mechanical. We just got the new wheels on and some new pads and rotors on it. They're looking real nice and everything. Make a nice touch to the car and everything. This car did used to be bright orange, and then we did it this real beautiful blue. So with cleaning up and polishing, it'll actually, have some nice sparkle and pop to it. So that'll be first. So we just got done washing and waxing the TR6. As you can tell, this blue gets really, really deep after that. Shout out to Adam's Carnauba wax for really giving it that extra edge. This blue is just extremely beautiful. But now that that's kind of almost wrapped up, we're gonna do a little bit of cleaning the windows and a little bit elsewhere, and then we'll go check out some more of the projects in the shop.
Good? Okay. Small update on our very controversial Camaro, which apparently is still stirring controversy. So we're doing some Willwood brakes on it now. We got the rear started. We've actually transferred it now from the big block that it was to an LS. Simple reason is reliability. He's getting this built for his wife now. He wanted her to have something cool, and she's not about a carbureted big block. Not that I blame her as far as daily driver type stuff. So we've got just this basic LS3 Chevy Performance. We have a Bowler 4L65 trans behind that. Thank you, Bowler. Nice product, by the way. And we actually have some Hotchkiss sports suspension we're buttoning up. So soon we'll have the Willwood brakes in the front. Right now we have everything kind of loose. We'll get some windows in it, get some weight in, adjust the doors, and we'll get most of the interior components as far as electrical in before we even put the front clip on it. That way we just have easy access to get to it. And now for a Blazer update. And now you're updated. Basically, everything's out of powder coat. Axles are getting rebuilt. We got the new engine from Blueprint. We've got the TCI 700R4 behind it. Those are getting painted soon too. We got our Michelin tires chilling over here. The Detroit steel wheels are at powder coat. So here in probably 2 weeks, we'll actually start putting this thing back together as a real truck. Okay, Willis update. Lots of stuff. So we're starting to button up the inside. We're getting the floors welded in place. We got our weld through primers in place. We got our quarter panels tacked on. Say hi, Nate.
Hi, guys.
So we're getting the floor dealt with in the back, wheel wells, fuel tank sitting in this place, like lots of just little stuff. We're taking it to the Cruisin OCC show in Colorado City tomorrow on Saturday. So we're just wanting to get it kind of put together some more, have more progress on it, kind of show it in bare metal a little bit. So we'll clean up all the little rust prints and just make it presentable. Corvette's moving along nicely, actually. So right now we have it on a rotisserie. Most times with the cars, we'll just kind of bolt it to the front and rear where the bumpers go, but with it being fiberglass, we actually took the time to build this nice framing underneath. That way we can keep it suspended, not bow it, not break it, and we have it braced at the same time. So on the bottom side of this car, there's a lot of really questionable fiberglass work. As a matter of fact, in the corner over here by the transmission tunnel is Gorilla Tape covered in fiberglass resin. That's how they patched it. So we're gonna cut that stuff out, fix it properly, finish the bottom of the floors, plug any holes, fill anything in the firewall that needs filled. That way we can start moving it towards the final process for paint. Okay, so believe it or not, stuff gets worse. I don't know how. So with the quarters removed, we went ahead and threw on a rotisserie, sandblasted it, put some bracing in it first. What we got back was some really big holes. They had a liquid-filled battery in here. It leaked, and you can actually tell everything's gone. The overlap on this panel is far worse than we thought. So it's actually overlapped here, down the center underneath. It's glued into place. It's not even welded here. Brazed across the top and came all the way across the bottom. You can actually see where they didn't even weld it. You got giant pinholes in it. The floor isn't even welded in most places. It's pretty bad. Even up here in some of these areas, you got giant holes in it. The roof's been cut. We're not sure what this is all about, but this whole pillar has been sectioned in at some point. So we got to figure that out too. So the biggest point with this car is the owner does want it done right. He understands it's going to cost more starting with a junky car, but he doesn't want to give somebody else his problem. So the guy has a good set of morals, but he also understands the morals are going to cost him more in the long run. So we've talked about all these problems. So again, this is going on a roaster shop chassis. It's getting an illuminator, a Coyote. It's getting a Whipple charger, a Bowler 6-speed. So we're going to set up with all the good stuff, and we're going to finish this car right. Okay, our brand new Chevy truck here. So now we got it over in the body shop. So we finished all the gap work, fitment work. We're happy with how it is. We drilled all the holes for the trim where it needs it. Now we're about ready to sand it, put it in epoxy, and then start the filler work. So that's coming soon. All right, so it's all in the prep. This is just the bottom of the hood. Keep that in mind for the Corvette we're doing, right? So we added some structure here for the electric ram we're using. We've also found out that all the paint's peeling off in most places, so we had to chip a lot of that back, re-prep these areas, fix the fiberglass where there was previous repairs, fill in other repairs that were done poorly. Soon this is ready for primer, but keep in mind this is just the bottom, and we probably have a week just in the bottom of the hood. But when you're doing super nice cars, even this little detail is huge. When it's tilted forward and you're looking at the engine, the last thing you want to do is look up and see a cracked hood, right? All right, so while the chassis is out getting its thing done and the axles are getting rebuilt, Jeremy's been over here slaving tirelessly on this body. So we've decided to do the tinted Raptor coating. That way we can keep the GM Sky Blue into the color. We're also doing the firewall, jams, interior stuff in this nice satin from Sherwin on top of that, so that it ought to pop pretty good by the time it's done. All right, so here at Pot of Gold we have a mechanical as well as far as the departments go. So something like this, right? All we did was get the engine rebuilt. We're getting that installed, getting it tuned, then it goes home. This one's in just for brakes. We actually had a bad proportioning valve when we got all of our new parts, so we're putting another new one in, then she'll be ready to go. You see the new tires, it's waiting on an alignment too. This big blue Ford though, so this is one of those where you never really know what's gonna happen till you get into it. What I mean is, we went to pull all the lines, we did all the lines, we did new hoses, we did stainless steel braided hoses actually because of the lift, right? We go to bleed it, and both bleeders snap off in the calipers up front. The calipers were good, they worked good, the pads were great, front rotors are good, we didn't touch that. But now, because the bleeders broke off, we found out you can't get the caliper for this truck. We tried drilling it out, and all the castings started to break on the caliper. So we're like, well, what are we gonna do? Buy calipers, you would think. Well, instead we bought a disc brake conversion kit for the front, which will use a GM single piston caliper instead, something you can find. So it'll still use the Ford rotors and the Ford parts, but with a GM caliper. So the advantage there is we can still get it back on the road and reliable for them. All right, sometimes with your old cars, you get stuff old enough you can't get parts for it. Case in point, this really awesome 4x4 flatbed. So that if I believe the story right, this was her grandpa's and her dad's before she got to drive it too. And now we're restoring it for her. So it's been a farm truck, it's beat up, you can see the doors. So they want to keep the patina, but we want to get the dents out and the rust out. But then we came across the problems with the axles. You can't just get these rebuilt. As a matter of fact, when I called my axle guy, he hung up on me. So you can't get the brakes for them, you can't get the parts for them. So what we're doing is swapping some things out. So we're using this Blazer as parts. Being as how we got the other Blazer getting built, we know we can get the axles rebuilt. So the suspension, steering, transfer case, and axles are going right under her. Plan is just something simple, some simple driver for her, but we still want to keep it four-wheel drive, and she wants it a manual. So we're going to do an MV 4500 5-speed in there for her.
One of the final things we get to do today to get ready for Saturday's car show is going to be doing a quick detail on everyone's favorite car, the 51 Mercury. Well, everything's detailed up and all staged accordingly for Saturday. Just was a great day of getting everything ready, a lot of hard work going in. This weekend will be nothing but a blast. We're so excited, but definitely check that out. Next week on our next video, we'll be covering the actual Cruisin OCC show because we're helping put it on. But yeah, looking forward to a great weekend. Thanks, guys.